Go on everybody, this is the Monday morning after a really successful Potfest show at the weekend. Lots of people went there. It's been running for 26 years now, so it's always a good show to do. Even with it was in Cumbria and they're used to the bad weather up there, because on the Saturday he absolutely threw it down. And it never affected anyone. They all still turned up. They just wore the appropriate clothing, you know, and they turned up. They were all very happy to be there. Sales were good. And it was a good show. But something I've observed with shows, I try and watch what people sort of gravitate towards, just to see how I set out my stall, how easy it is for them to get to things, and what pots catch people's attention. And I never sell, sort of suggestive sell or sell anything. I stand back, let people look. You make the pots as well as you can make them, you set them out as nicely as you can, and then you just stand back. I just stand back and let people take a look, and then if they want to ask a question they can. But I don't sort of step in and go, oh, look at this, well, this is good, look at that, oh, that's a good one, you know. When they make their choice, it's their choice and not my sort of suggestion, because I think if you suggest sales, they might not come again, because you've sort of almost forced them into buying something. Or you don't really force them into it, but you convince them to buy it. So I let them make the decision and then buy stuff. But what I did notice is that on the stall this year, everyone gravitated towards these small black bowls. I'm just throwing some replacements now because they were very popular. Just got a little bit of a Chino wipe on it. More questions than anything were asked about how these are made and how I get the Chino glaze on there. They were very popular, so I'm just making some more now, and these are just thrown off the hump. But it's really weird, because I took these black bowls, I've taken them to every show this year, and people have looked at them, but they've never sort of gravitated towards them. But this show, they just seem to have caught some people's eye. And they were going straight to these little pots. There were some larger versions of them as well, and they were really popular. It's weird how people work and how things sell. You can make something and take it to 5 or 6 shows, and then on the 7th show you sell out. So I'm just making a few more now. The show season is well underway now. Let's get rid of this. There's some done there. I've got a few more to do off here. These are thrown off the hump. And then when I get down to the last little bit, I'll throw a larger version of it, which I'll do for you now. So I've got one more small one to do here. I use it's called a bull's tongue throwing rib. I didn't use it on the last one I've just done there for you because I was too busy talking to you. So it's just a bull's tongue. Just put it in, and what this does is it compresses the base so you don't get spiral cracking or S cracking where you've not been able to compress it very well. Just give it a rough check. Don't make them all within millimetres of each other, but as long as they're roughly the same size. Traditionally it's cut off with a piece of string, but I just use a needle. Cut off with a needle. Right, there's not quite enough left there to do another one, so I'm going to throw a larger one now. This is black clay mixed with ordinary stoneware. one I showed you earlier, the finished one, was almost completely black clay, but it's a little bit brittle. It doesn't fire too high. So I've added a little bit of normal stoneware clay in with it. And I shall put a black slip on the inside of these. So you get the same effect, but they're a little bit stronger and they'll fire a little bit higher up in the kiln. This tool here is really good for getting rid of that transition part from base to wall in here. It's a really nice tool. It evens it out really nicely. So it's worth getting. You can send for them online. I think Bath Potters sell them in the UK, but you can get them. Bull's tongue throwing rib. That's the larger version. That'll have a big sweep of glaze on them. And that's that. Monday morning after the show, getting back into it, replacing stock, chilling out a little bit because it's fairly tiring doing shows, sleeping away from home, and another 4 or 5 days of throwing, and then we'll be able to make another kiln's worth of pots to throw for the next show in a couple of weeks' time.